Welcome everyone to the OnPassive PNG, Papua New Guinea webinar. We are glad that you're all here. We have a really good turnout today of PNG folks as well as our international community. Today we will be talking about testing and data migration. And with us today, we have three of our OTech pros. These are IT professionals with decades of experience between them. They live and they breathe IT. They have a lot of work experience in the field. So when they speak with us, it's not just technical stuff. They actually know what they're talking about, and they're going to make it simple for all of us to understand these complex terms and concepts. So we are very, very grateful that we have them here today. We have here Collins Mana from UK. We have Oliver Fonte from United States. He's in Maryland. And we have Vincent Ete, who is from UK. So we're going to begin with, I believe, Collins, right? Who's beginning today? Collins, are you going to begin?
Yep.
Okay, take it away, Collins.
Yes. So I just want to greet all the people from New Papua Guinea and the international founders and those who are also watching. So we're just here today to just give an overview of testing. That's the topic that Mr. Ash Mufara chose. You know, all the webinar, the corporate webinar, Mr. Ash Mufara has been talking about testing and migration. So we thought it wise to come out and really explain what it means to test a software. And if you don't test it, what happens then? So I just hope you guys enjoy it and understand it and know the reason why you must test it. The software properly before you hit the market, because as yesterday, Bob said we have only one bullet. You know, you just have one shot, and if you miss the target, that is it. You know, there is no way you can turn back, because remember, customers are always very smart. You know, the IT guys are smart, but customers are smarter, because when they look at it and it's not what they want, they disappeared and you'll never see them again, because, you know, the world is a competitive world and you just need to get it right. They said right first time. By the time you hit the market, you must get it right first time. So why do we need to test, and what is testing? So I will not really go into too much details, like to overwhelm, you know, all the people from Papua New Guinea with all the technical terms, but I just want to explain why we test and what is testing. So testing is about ensuring. So when you have a piece of software, you want to ensure that the software meets and exceeds customer expectation. So you must meet it. If you can't meet it, nobody will even buy anything, whatever you are selling. It's like you have two businesses. One person is meeting and exceeding customer expectation, and the other person is just sleeping. Where do you think they will go? They will go to the person that is meeting and exiting. They will not go to someone who is just sitting there. And though you can have similar products, but a lot of people will just dive to the area that they will get more satisfaction. So when you want to test, most of the time they want to ensure, the company want to ensure that what they are building meet and exceed customer expectation. And exactly that is what OnPassive want to do. Now, why do we want to test? Why do we have to test? Why? We can just build a simple software, put it out there, and allow everyone to come. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, go. But why do you really need to test? Go through this pain of testing. One, they said, is to gain customer confidence. You know, you must gain the customer. You must test to ensure, because imagine you prepare a nice meal and you don't like your own meal. Do you expect customer to like it? No, you yourself, you are not approved of your own thing you are doing, and you don't even have confidence of what you are doing. Don't expect others to have confidence. You must be confident in what you are doing, and that is exactly what OnPassive, Mr. Ash Mofara and the team in Hyderabad are doing, to ensure that there is confidence that when they put this product out, all what we have in our back office, when they put it out, the customer will love it. So we must ensure that there is confidence. Secondly, we must also ensure that everything that we are building is adaptable. So you can put it, you can plug it to another system and it will work the same. Take it anywhere, it will work the same. Remember, company will come they can come from multiple or single products. And what they want to do is they want to integrate the products that they will buy from us to what they already have. If our system cannot work well with their system, they will not come for it, because they can't just dish everything they have just because because it's unpassive. They can do it over time, but not immediately. Most major company doesn't throw all what they have immediately. They just come and take piece of yours, integrate it with them, use it, and when it's nice, then they come again for more and start to take, eliminate what they have. So our system must be adaptable, it must be flexible to adapt. And then testing again is about trying to ensure that there is no errors. Make sure that, when you try, there's no, remember when we're looking at our back office wrinkles and we try to fix it, that is the importance of beta testing, where we look at it 1.2 million, or at that time, 1.3 million people looking at all these old mails, old decks, playing with it, discover things, and even our old founders. So it's just about making sure there is no errors. And then thirdly, to avoid cost. That's the most crazy thing. Cost is one of the things nobody want to reach that level where you start to lose money. Because remember, when you start to incur cost, you are paying those people who are working. They are not sitting there. Every time when something goes wrong, they have to fix it. When they fix it, Mr. Ashbrook has to pay them. Pay them salary, because you don't pay, they will disappear. They will go and look for another job. Nobody wants to work without salary. So it is costly when you are fixing and you're doing it. It is so costly, and you have to pay the buildings, everything there you have to pay. Electricity, all of those things, we know the overhead costs. And not only that cost, loss of life. Imagine you build a very bad hospital software. Let's put it this way. Say we have our brother Tony Monk is there working in the hospital, use that software and kill a lot of people. What will happen? Bad image, reputation, lawsuit will come over that company. Those are the things that people do, a lot of things. Imagine you didn't test like the dashboard of a plane very well, the plane go and crash. We had a lot of examples where you have this software failure. So you must test it properly, because it is so costly, and it's really not even financial, legal costs, all of those things. People will lose their job, no confidence. So it is costly because there is no sorry, when it comes to that, there is no sorry. You must face it. So that's the cost. And then secondly, you accelerate development. The more you find error and you fix it, you accelerate development. Look at the time we develop software, software development in on-passive. Because when they find it, they fix it, they find the fix so they can move on with what they are doing. And then to avoid risks, we know about all the risk costs and all of those things. You have to avoid it. So you have to test to avoid all of those things. And then the last part is to optimize business return. The more your software is good, what happens? The more people will come. That's what Mr. Ashbrook wants to achieve. More people will come and love it. What happened? 1 billion, 2 billion, and because they love the software. So you want to optimize business return. So that's the reason why we test. That's the reason. And if you don't test, the reverse is what will come. Your return will go down, everything will go down, lawsuit, all of those things. And there is no, oh, sorry, the customer will just turn their back and they'll never want to hear the name on-passive anymore. Then we'll just look at testing in two categories, which I will not go into the details. We have functional and non-functional. So let's look at the non-functional part. The functional is about testing what they have built, like you go to OMail, you check all of those things. Those are the function, login, enter password, check all of those. Those are the functional part of it. The non-functional is about the volume, number of people coming. Did you really test that? No. Are we really doing that? Yes, we are doing it. Because when you build software in a house, sometimes you have very few developers, maybe 10, 100. You cannot assume that because you are 10 of you, you are testing it, you are running it, it's so fast. Think about when 1 billion people will hit that site, will it crash? So you need to do that, and that is the non-functional part of it. So it's something that is not related to what you are saying, but you are thinking ahead that what if 1 billion people come? And we know companies that 1 billion people have come to that site and the site crashed, the company collapsed and never come again, disappeared, So you need to think about the speed, you need to think about the load. So is this something that you can put on your USB, put it in your pocket, go somewhere, upload it, and it still works? Those are they call it portability. So I can go on and on, but the reason why you test is because you want to gain customer confidence, to make sure what is coming out is something that will like just blow the world. So I'll leave it there without going into the details. And Lynn, take it over for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that basic overview. That's great. Nice and simple. I love it. Next, we're going to go to Oliver, and Oliver is going to talk about security in a very, very basic manner. Go ahead, Oliver.
Hey, Papua New Guinea. How you guys doing? Good afternoon there. And I want to say hi to everybody that is here. And yeah, I want to talk about security testing. You know, there are a lot of advantages for us to have for the security testing, because security testing is very, very important. When we don't remember that, or we know that we have hackers out there. We have the bad guys that want they want to data breach and the rest. So we have to make sure that we are ahead of the game. You know, we are ahead of the game. You know, so that when they come, they have no way to penetrate. For example, we have artificial intelligence that is embedded in all our products, so they cannot even dare to come, because we have sophisticated equipment. Our system is sophisticated, and we do protect it. You know, and now that we are going into the market, the name OnPassive has is a big name, and it's going to be the biggest name in the market. So we have to make sure that the security that surround each of our products, and the testing also should be the number one that we should make sure that we do have. And why do we test? Is to identify the threat in the system and measure its potential vulnerability, so the threat can be encounter and the system does not stop functioning. We have to make sure that our security testing, we look for vulnerability. When they test, they look for vulnerability. They look for the threat. They make sure that there's no risk, and they have to continue the security testing all the time. Because if we don't, you know, the risk for us to be hacked, the risk for us to have data breach is there. But thank God that we do have sophisticated equipment, sophisticated systems that are there. And the other good part also is that we must test. So we must do security testing. We must do security. There's other thing that we call security auditing. That the security auditing, they test the system from the first day that they will start the planning to the end, and make sure that as they perform the security testing, they check all the boxes. Because if we do not, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. You know. Then we also have the risk assessment for security testing. That the risk assessment, they also have to come to make sure that all the security component as they've been tested, make sure that they're in the right place, so that when we go to the market, nobody can penetrate us. Like, for example, OMail. Our OMail, OMail.ai is one of my favorite products that it's spams free. Because if it's that we didn't have that security, that IPv6 that is also spam free, then they can get us easily, of which they will not. So that security testing has to go. We have to go through the security testing. Our big brother here, Madi Degamo, quoted a lot of the advantages why we have to perform security testing. For example, here in the United States, when Obama came with Obamacare, I love that example that he gave. You know, because they didn't go through the right security testing. After 2 years of building, they didn't go through that right security testing, and the system crashed. The whole United States, the system crashed. That was a big blow. That was a big blow to the government. You know, so we have to make sure that we go through security testing. Take, for example, another example: grocery store, self-checking. The system, the payment, the cashier system did not go through the right security check, the right security testing. What is going to happen? That store is going to crash. Not only crash, people will come and pay, but what they will buy grocery for $50, but they end up paying $20. because it did not go through the right security testing. Yeah, it had to go through the right security testing. Compliance also, we have to make sure, and the CEO is doing a good job. He has made sure that all the countries all over the world, we comply, and they have to test to make sure that we go through all the security testing and all the compliance that we comply. Like Europe, GDPR, we have to comply to European data that are the GDPR. In the United States, we also have it, that we also have to comply in ISO 27001. We have to comply onto all those international standard policies before we get into any country. Last week, I think that was last week or 2 weeks ago, the CEO mentioned that there are some countries that they are still working with them, so that we should comply before we get in there to start selling, which is they have to test, those security testing. They have to make sure that all those security testing should take place. Because if we don't, now that we are going into the market, let me say it again, now that we are going into the market the first time, and look at the marketing campaign, the branding that started in Dubai. The whole world now, the places are booming. People are crawling, people are talking about OnPassive. We cannot make any mistake. We have to go through that security testing. Customers are waiting. And first impression, like my brother Colin said, first impression count. First impression count. CEOs will be referring other colleagues, other CEOs, then to come to OnPassive, because we comply. Security testing has been taking place. The testing also has been taking place. We cannot roll any product out, name it from old trim, old mail, old tracker. We cannot roll it out without going through those security testing. I was very proud and happy with the CEO where he mentioned that was last month, then they will not break our system. When he said that confidently, I was happy as a security person, knowing that they've gone through all that security checks, testing, and check those boxes that boom, this is it. You cannot break our system. Again, with the sophisticated of our system, we are in a very good position. So I want to end it there. Angeline, take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you for explaining that in a very simple manner. Appreciate it very much. Next, we have Vincent Ete, and he's going to be talking about data migration.
Okay. Thank you, Angeline, for this opportunity. Also, thank you all the members and all the leaders. Thanks. Hello to Papua New Guinea. Hello to the whole world. So hello to all the participants. So today I will talk about the data migration. So data migration, why we do a data migration, why it is important to do a data migration. So the data migration, first of all, I need to explain that the data migration is a process of data migration from one system to another. So this is known as a data migration. So the data migration, people might think is a very easy task to do, but it's not. There are many processes we need to follow before we did it, before to get to the data migration. So, and then also I would like to highlight that there's a different type of data migration. We have a storage migration, we can have a database migration, application migration, cloud migration, and business process migration. We have also data center migration. So this is what we doing this week. We did data migration from AWS to our own data center. So this is what type of the data migration. And this migration, before to get to the migration, we need to follow different steps to get to the data migration. So the first step we need to find out, first of all, we need to find out, identify the data format, the location, and the sensitivity. So before we begin the data migration process, we need to identify what data we are migrating, what format is currently in use, where it lives, and where format it should be in the post-migration. So during the pre-planning process, we may also think about the potential risk, what kind of risk we have in the data. So this is helping to find out how we can quickly step into making the critical error, and also for the actual migration process. So this is how we start the process. So we need to identify the potential risk. And then once we identify the potential risk, and then the process, we're planning, we have the planning, the size and the scope of the project. So we need to find out the size of the data we're trying to move on, and also the planning the resources we need to achieve this migration. So this is planning the size and the scope. So we need to find it and get it ready. And also once we get that, we need to also make sure that to communicate with the key stockholders and also all the customers and business in the system, so that about the time frame and then also the potential downtime, because sometimes we could have a downtime or maybe the risk for the project. So all these people, they need to know about that before we can move on. So once this is achieved, we have also to think about the backup all the data. So before you start the migration, we need also to back up the whole system. So the reason for the backup is that if you don't back up and anything happen, you'll be in trouble, because you can't do anything else because you have moved on without backup the system. So to secure the data migration, or to make sure that everything is going very well as you expecting or customer expecting to see, is to back up the data. So once we back up the data, anything goes wrong, we can use the backup of the data to restore the system back to the way we found it. So once we back up, we can start the assessment, staff assessment, and then also the migration tool. So staff assessment, we're going to the staff and make sure that we have the right staff here and then the right skill to do the job. In case we don't have maybe enough staff, we can get hire some staff from maybe a third party and help and do the job. And also we access the tools, all the tools we need to do our job, make sure that we have the right tool, because if we don't have the right tool to assess our business, we can have maybe a potential risk or maybe fail. So the right tools can help us to achieve the migration system. So once we got that, everything, we ensure that we are happy for everything. And then the next step, we'll move into the execution of the data migration. So for the execution of the data migration, we have to.
Okay, somebody accidentally screen shared. Let's figure out who did that. Dharma DB, can you stop screen sharing? I think you accidentally started screen sharing. Thank you, Dharma. Appreciate it. That's the green button is the share button. So people don't click the green share button. Thank you. Go ahead and resume. Go ahead, Vincent.
Okay, yeah. So I'm talking right now about the execution of the data migration plan. So to start the data migration plan, we ensure that the right permission is applying to allow the successful of data migration. So all the extracting all data migration to the target from the switch system. So all this, we need a right permission for the target, for this project to be migrating successfully. So we also make sure that we have load, clean, and all the data in place. So during the data execution, we have also to closely monitor the execution of the project, so that if anything happen, like identify the problem and then resolve any problem that arise. So this is why we monitor when execution of the project. So with my brother Collins and Oliver, they talk about the testing. So once we finish the process, the project. So we have a two-step. If the project fail, we use the rollback to get the migration plan back to. We do the rollback for that. So even if the project fail, we shouldn't worry. We can still roll back, and then my only problem is the waste of time and resources. But if we get to the successful execution of the project, that's what we're mostly expecting to have. In that case, we go back to the testing of final system. So we'll also, again, we need a testing. Even after the migration of the system, we need to conduct a testing to check the connectivity of the problem, where we have also testing of the the data and also the target system. So all this need to be planned, and then also make sure that we have done every testing correctly, because without testing, again, is another big issue, because we finish the migration, we have to also test and make sure that the migration is working as expected. The goal to ensure all data is migrating correctly, and also we have the data is secure and also is in a proper location. So this is the thing we need to do for the testing. And then the last part, like my brother Colin said, we need also to verify the conduct, like system unit, and then also the volume, the system, the web-based application, and also the batch application testing. So again, we need to test everything, make sure that everything is done before we can move on. So once it's done and then the testing is done properly, we are happy with the result of the testing, we follow up with maintenance and the data migration. So the maintenance is all the maintenance put in place before we started the migration. We need to make sure that all the maintenance is also back and put in place. And then we are happy, we'll conduct a full audit of the system. And also we also make sure that everything is working correctly, and the data migration, we can also make sure that if anything after the maintenance plan, if something fell, or we have a corrupted system, or maybe a incorrect file system, we should not worry. We can use our backup in place. The reason why we started the backup, that stage, we can use the backup for any data or any file or any missing application and system in place. We can use the backup to restore them and make sure that everything working fine, and then planning as executed. So again, before to hand, we always conduct the testing, the system testing. And then once they test everything, we are happy, we can say that the migration has been successfully run. So this is how we do the data migration. Thank you, Angeline.
Thank you. Thank you for that concise presentation. So that pretty much is our presentation. Marty has some examples of what happens when testing is not done properly. Collins, Oliver, and Vincent, any one of you want to read that, or do you want me to read it? Collins, yeah. Oliver, and Vincent.
You can read it, Lynn.
Okay, nobody's volunteering from you guys. All righty. All right, so Marty has some really, really good examples of what happens when testing isn't done as it should be. And these are really stark examples of the consequences of not doing what you're supposed to do. All right. So one of the examples he gives is of Yahoo Mail. Yahoo Mail was the third largest email company, and they changed their design. And when they did so, they dropped from 3rd to 9th place because of the design changes. Another big example is Pokemon Go. You may be familiar with the Pokemon Go game. They had problems when there was a spike in user demand and they were unable to recover quickly. The problem slowed the momentum of the new product just when it needed it most. Problems could have been avoided with better testing and preparation. Another example is the 2016 US elections and the Canadian immigration website portal. People flooded the website and the site actually crashed repeatedly to a sudden high interest in that site. One more example is the Kardashian crash. Okay, so you all know who the Kardashians are. Well, they crashed the Apple App Store in the late 2015s. There was a release of the Kimoji app, K-I-M-O-G-I app. The app was a set of Kim-themed emojis that cost $1.99 in the Apple Store. Fans were downloading the app at a rate of 9,000 per millisecond. The crash affected not only the download of the Kardashian products, but other users of Apple's App Store as well. So that was a big, big fiasco. Black Friday, the biggest shopping day. What happened in 2000 16 is Macy's website as well as their mobile app crashed because of heavy loads. In other words, so many people were going to the website and so many people were using the app that it crashed. So what was the fallout from that? Well, shoppers couldn't shop. And you know, on Black Friday, the sales are limited, right? It's time limited. So it's not like you can come back the next day. So people lost out on the deals. They couldn't complete their purchases. They complained loudly across social media. Macy's lost sales as well as brand satisfaction. Load and testing could have helped prepare Macy's for the high traffic during the holidays. Another example is the iPhone, which the iPhone 4 debuted in June of 2010. Everybody wanted one at the same time. The whole pre-ordering system, from Apple Store itself to the new phone-based order taker software, all the way to AT&T's website and Apple's 1-800 number, all ran into major technical problems. And the big one that Oliver alluded to already was the Obamacare, the healthcare.gov website. Healthcare.gov website was a very, very important website launched. It was a website launch that needed to work so that millions of people could have access to health insurance. Unfortunately, the site had a huge number of problems, damaging the public's faith in government services and causing lots of frustration. The front end work, what users see, and the back end work, what developers create to make the site manage an insurance sign up, were not working together properly. Eventually, the issues were fixed and the site now works, but the political cost was massive. So with these examples, you know, you have one shot, as our OTech pros say. You got one shot to do it right. And if you blow it, that's it. You can't really go back to where you were. You lose a lot of confidence among people, right? And then your reputation is pretty much ruined from that point on. So this is why testing is so critical. And Ashmo Farah is ensuring that we do testing fully and properly. Do any of our tech team want to chime in on the examples Marty has? Anything you want to add to what I said?
Yeah, I'll just add one example. This some of the things we know, especially in the field, when as a QA, they always tell you these things, so you always remind, because sometimes it's not about being a QA engineer for money, but you must have the heart and the discipline to understand that you are dealing not only with the risks, but with people's life. Because for you to work in an IT field, it's not only like simple things, but sometimes you can work in a technical environment where most of those products that you are building may be used by, just think about planes, you know, the dashboard, think about hospitals, you know, those I've worked in most of those environments. Now when I was doing a course, there was something, the first thing that they teach us was, look at it this way, there was a code miss. So when they program a system, there was a system that was programmed, and I'll not name the company. I think it happens at one of the American airlines or Canadian airlines. So for the programmers to put comma, full stop, but the code, I think within the code, he put comma, you know, and comma means something else. So what happened when the flight take off at a particular time, it hit that mistakes. So what happened, instead we got comma, full stop means the plane should turn maybe right or left, but comma now instead divert the plane. So the plane turned 260 degrees and plunged in the sea, and everybody died because of that simple mistake. There was nobody to check it. It wasn't properly tested. So what we are saying here is testing is so important in everything. And what happened? Because of that, the company has to pay a lot of money because people lost their family, their loved one, and stuff like that. And there is no way you can tell them, I'm sorry. No, you don't. There is no room for mistakes. When it comes to software development, there is no room for mistakes. You know, and I can give lots of examples, ambulance service crashes because of that. because of poor software. Banking, financial service here. There was a time in UK, all the banks just went dead because of poor testing. You know, we can go on and on and on. And the reason why Mr. Ashmufra chose this topic is for us to appreciate what those guys in Hyderabad are doing, because we must get it right. There is no sorry. There is no sorry, because remember, we are coming out and billions of people are waiting. Maybe we are talking about 2-point-something billion. If we don't get it right and they lost confidence, then we'll just stay as found as 1-point-something. And this is not, in short, there is no room for an error. There is no room. You must get it right. So I just want to share that. Thank you.
Let me also add, let's look at our wallet. That our wallet, those guys in Hyderabad, our tech team in Hyderabad, they work on that, they didn't test it. Then your money will more or less come into your wallet. You cannot cash it because it didn't go through the proper testing and the security testing. All of us are going to like go bananas. So security testing and the testing alone also is very important, that we should, that before the CEO give that order that they should roll out, like he said again last week, that do our producting, old tracker, old trim, old mail, old staff, they are ready to roll out. You know, it has gone through that testing. They've gone through that testing and the security testing phase. Like our wallet, like I just quote our wallet, that our wallet is our powerhouse in the back office. If there's any mistake, we are all in trouble. So testing and security testing is very, very, very important, because if we don't perform testing and security testing and the other testing, compliance testing, audit testing, then we are in trouble. So but we are in a very good position that our CEO is very cautious. Mr. Ashmufra is very cautious about that. And he will not leave any stone unturned when it comes to testing and the security testing. Thank you, Auntie Lynn.
Thank you. You know, so when we talk about testing, it is, like you say, hit or miss. You got to do it right and do it right the first time. And this is why we're very careful and investing lots of labor and money in this process. It's well worth it. We can rest assured that when this company, this website gets used by multiple millions of people, it's going to be doing well. We rest assured that the data center is going to be stable, impeccably secure, and our data is never going to be lost, right? Oliver, Vincent, Collins, we don't have to worry about loss of data. Security is superior with us. I mean, what more can we ask? Speed should be excellent as well, because we're using the laser technology. You know, there's so many strengths to what we offer. You know, I feel very proud to be a founder in this company. And although, yeah, I'm not a techie, I may not be explaining it the way the three gentlemen here do. All I know is that we're in a good place. This company is doing the best it can to produce the best products, the best data center ever. So I think that's a good thing for us to know and to feel very, very comfortable and reassured. Correct, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I think we've made our basic presentation. So this is our time for questions and answers. We would like to first focus on our PNG people, because this is a PNG webinar, as you all know, although we're very grateful to have our international community with us, of course, but really we want to service the needs of the PNG people first. So we're gonna have them raise their hands before all of the rest of you do, alrighty? So I'm grateful to see Barth Meal, he's our PNG guy and he's got his hands raised and we would like to hear from Barth. Go ahead, Barth.
Oh, thank you very much, Lynn, plus all our international guys who have been attending the webinar. I just got only one question. My question is, how long will it take for security testing and product testing?
Okay, thank you for that question. It's two-folded question. One of you guys can go ahead and take that.
So, you know, testing is part of the software development. You know, we are already in the last phase. So whatever they build, they test as they move along. You know, so you remember last time we talked about sprint here, we're talking about software development, and Mr. Ashva always used the word we are in sprint number this, sprint that. So within that part, sprint is a time box where they develop software. So it's just, you time it, say, okay, I want to do it for 2 weeks. All right, we already know that OnPassive is developing the software within 2 weeks. Every component is within 2 weeks. Basic functions within 2 weeks. So within that 2 weeks time frame, development, testing goes along. Everything they are doing is just hand in hand. By the time the software comes out, within that 2 weeks, it is fit for purpose. It is well tested, both security-wise and product-wise. Everything is just in there, you know. So there is no time frame. The time frame is just within that time, they've just designed that they have to build and test. I don't know if that answers your question.
You can speak now, Bart.
Thank you. I think that answers my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you for asking. Appreciate it. Next, we have
Thank you.
Mary Carroll. Hi, Mary. You can ask your question.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for inviting me on. Firstly, I'd like to welcome all the world that is attended today's PNG webinar. Secondly, I'd like to thank the tech teams, Colin, Oliver, and Vincent, for explaining these things to us and breaking it down to our understanding. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Because some of our downliners keep asking, you know, when is OnPassive going to launch? And we keep explaining to them, this is a new concept to us. IT and AI are very, very new to us. So we have to be patient, you know, we have to be very, very patient, and you just pray for us, because the people that are working, Mr. Mufari, the CEO, founder of OnPassive, and his technical teams in Hyderabad and Dubai, Dubai headed by Engineer Kamal, they are exercising sleepless nights just to make sure that these things are properly presented to the world. It's not just to you and I, they're doing it for the world. You know, almost 8-9 billion people around the world will be using these tools. So we just need to be patient. And that's what I wanted to convey to the tech teams, to Mr. Mufare, and to all the committed and dedicated, hardworking OnPassive Council members, Leadership Council members. Thank you so much. And thank you for following our webinars in Papua New Guinea. We love you.
We love you, Mary. Thank you so much. That was beautifully spoken. Very lovely. Tech guys, did you want to say anything in response to Mary? Anything to add on that? When people ask about when is the launch kind of thing.
Yeah, let me take it. Thank you very much, Auntie Mary. That was well spoken and articulated. And yes, it takes that, you know, it takes a long time to just to come out with one product. And with OnPassive products, it's a little bit, it's like when we say it's sophisticated because one, it comes with artificial intelligence embedded from scratch, 100% automated and integration. These are separate components that come before the intercom are integrated. Then the product alone, they'll build the product alone again separately. Like let's take OMail. They'll build OMail separately. You have artificial intelligence, you have the integration, and you know, so they have to put, after they've put all of them separately, now they bring it all, everything together, to integrate everything together to be one product with all these other features in that one product. And for the CEO to take less than 4 years to come out, that he came out other than say 5 products are ready now that we are talking. And I think he reviewed Bless on Wednesday. We have Connect and Academy. Yes, this is mind blowing. This is mind blowing. You know, for what they've done. The tech guys in Hyderabad, they've done a wonderful job, and the CO2 has done a wonderful job. But he pays them well. He makes them live well. Their salaries are compounded, like the CEO told us last year. So they are working day and night, sleepless night. You know, so we should give them a hand of applause, because for them to do what that now we have to start to enjoy the benefit in the few months to come. I think we should all pray for them all the time. You know,
Yes.
because just to come out with one product, one, we know how many years Zoom took to come out just with that one Zoom, that product Zoom. More than a year, more than 4 years. But look at OnPassive, in less than 4 years, we are coming out with how many products? This is mind blowing. And not only that, we have control of our product, because we have our domains, we have the data center, which is dynamic, you know, with multiple regional data center. This is mind blowing. So they've done a wonderful job. They've done a wonderful job. That when I see people cry, they talk that why are we taking that long? Normally, as an IT person, I'll give minimum 5 years. I'll talk between 5 to 8 years or 10 years. But look at we are less than 4 years. The CEO here has taken less than 4 years with the tech guys in Hyderabad to come out with how many products, and more will be coming. You know, because already he told us last year that we have a template already. We have a template. So if you ask him at any time that how long will it take OnPassive to come out with one product, he said he can say it. No company, all these other tech companies, they don't have AI from scratch. They don't have integration. They don't have automation. No, they don't. Because OnPassive, we have that template. We are the only company, and we are leading in less than 4 years. Thank you, Auntie Mary. I hope I answered the question.
I'll just add
Very
something
well.
there.
Very well. Thank you.
Let me just add a little bit of stuff. You know, people always talk about this. You know, based on my experience, you know, I want to talk based on my own experience. Because my last company I worked for was like building facilities for health. You know, I joined the company and we building only one product, not because we were lazy, we were really fast. I joined the company after they've started 2 years. I left the company after 4 years. We have built only the administration, not the complete full-blown product. So how many years? That's 6 years we've not completed full-blown product. Not because we were lazy, but it was so complicated. We developed that, like just the GP section and the administration section, but the rest of like the hospital, it was still undone. But I don't know, because I left more than 4 years and I've been with another company for 4 years. So I don't know if they've completed it or not. And that was really, you know, you're dealing with big data, you're dealing with a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of legality, a lot it's so complicated, but you know, so sometimes when I look at OnPassive, I appreciate those guys, because we are not talking about, I'm talking about one product, but these guys, we have about more than 50 in our ecosystem, and they are building more every day in South Africa with new stuff. Just imagine O-mail alone. Like Oliver said, O-mail can take 4 years, because if you look at the component that all the functions that are in O-mail, we're talking O-staff. It's a complete full-blown human resource software integrated together that can do everything without buying any other software somewhere to integrate it. So you get only O-staff, you can just, it's a full-blown business. You know, most companies, if you go, like my company, what we use is HR Bright. It's just to recruit, just to do timesheet and stuff like that. But it's not full-blown. You need to buy other components from different company to add it, to integrate it. But we are talking about O-staff with everything. And just taking just less than 1 year. No company can do that just to build that product. So every time when I look at these guys, I said, maybe they are from different planet, because you just look at them, I said, my goodness, how they manage, you know, you just like, how comes they've done this? A lot of products like this with AI, you know, so it's just crazy. We do AI in our company, but it's just patch. You know, most of the product we build is AI, but it's patch. It's not like we didn't start from scratch, as Oliver said. So just want to, you know, it's just time. But the good thing, the good news is we are so close. As Mr. Andrew Kamal said, it is done, it is done. Honestly, it's just amazing. We are just like, this is the final, it's just like the final step. You know, the final step, he said the last sprint, and we're just talking matter of weeks. We're not talking about months again, it's weeks. And we're done with 5 products, done, full blown. Yeah.
Harry, what do you think of that response, or the 2 responses?
I really appreciate it, and it sort of blows my mind, extends it a bit more to do the explanation. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Love you.
Thank you, Mary. That was a great question that everyone benefited from. We appreciate you. All right. Are there any other questions from our PNG people? No other questions, or can be comments, but we're trying to stick with the topic if possible. If you have questions pertaining to things like password or email or things like that, please save them up for the round table. That's the appropriate forum for such questions. But today we really want to talk about data migration and testing. No other comments or questions? Gentlemen, our OTEC pros, did you want to say anything further? And just so you guys know, David Bakau, he's trying to come in. He's not having luck with internet connection. He's with a village of people who he wanted to introduce to on passive, and then he wanted to show them to us, but he's not having luck in connecting. So, but he's here with us in heart and in spirit. Hi, Emily. Good to see you. You can go ahead and ask your question or make your comment, Emily.
Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, nice to be here with you, and great to have the tech team try and break down all these very complex ideas, particularly for Papua New Guineans, as Mary has commented. It seems like this kind of testing that they're talking about is not just a testing with the data, but every single process that we're going through is undergoing some kind of beta testing. Is that correct? So that by the time it comes to this data migration, that's another lot of beta testing that's going on, or and I'm very sorry for my ignorance, but like Mary says, you know, some of these things we don't understand. Yeah.
That's
You're right.
definitely
So,
not an ignorant question. It's a good question.
It's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. You know, testing or any application starts from the beginning. So testing is not the end. Like what we are doing as founders, that's the last phase. Beta testing is just one, like a drop of water in an ocean. Beta testing is just a drop of water in an ocean. So the testing, when we talk about testing, you have 2 types, beta, alpha and beta. So alpha testing is the whole testing we've just talked about, like from scratch, from the time Mr. Ashbufara come up with the idea and said, I want to do this. Testing starts from that time. So you start to think, how am I going to test this? What are the values? What are the implications? What are the legality? Those are all testing. So it starts to run in our mind, those who are in the testing department. The moment a customer said, I want this, why is the developers and the other engineers and the security and the database, like Vincent here, they are thinking of how the database structure will be. The QA team will start to think, oh my God, how am I going to test this? What will be the implications? What are the values? All those type of things, you have to start prepare, because some company will tell you, like one of the companies I work for, they tell you, show me how you will test it before I give you the contract. Before you start to build my software, I want to know how you will test it to assure me that what you want to give me is better, is good, is fit for purpose. They call that type of testing, that type of development, they call it test-driven development. You test before you develop. And how can you test something that doesn't exist? So that is crazy because, and it's true, that's what they are doing. They test something. I think most of the engineers, they'll tell you, even we have Kired Young here who can testify this and say, yes, it's true. You need to prove. But so testing starts from the beginning, from documentation. You write a document, they can give it to our brother Tony Monk. Go and check the spelling. Look if the spellings are correct. That is testing. They call it static testing. You start to make sure everything, because spelling mistake can lead to errors. So for instance, the company want yellow and you put red. What will happen? The developer will code red. You know, so they verify everything from, so testing is like a process from the development, and by the time the software is coming out, it is already fit, it's well tested, the database is checked, everything is checked, our data center checked, because even to build a data center, it must be checked to ensure that the data center can handle that volume. Everything must be checked before we go out, and that is testing. So I don't know if that's answered your question.
I
She's
think
gone.
that was okay.
Yeah, I think she's
Or
gone.
she
Yeah.
might have, she got kicked out. Well, she'll come back hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on.
Here.
Thank you. You can unmute her.
Yes.
No, that was
Oh, there
Emily.
we go.
She's still here. Yeah.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
still here.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. That was good. And there was the mention of wallets, which is a very important, is it a product that you were talking about a little while ago. So that will also go through a process of testing too as well.
All right.
Yeah, so for us Papua New Guineans, I think that's something that we'd be really interested in hearing about as far as the process goes, only because we do have huge problems with identification and KYC, know your customer. So it'd be interesting to hear what process that involves when you get to it, if not already.
Yeah, I think they've already done everything. You know, the wallet as a product must be tested, and I'm sure that they've already done, not like I'm sure, they've already done it, because you cannot provide a wallet without checking condition, because there are scenarios and they can, every country, what type of authentication they have, how can they integrate it? So for instance, if it is facial recognition, is it suitable for this country, A, B, C, D, all of those countries? So they check all of those things, and it's testing. You know, so they check identification, they check withdrawal, and because remember, it's not only founders that will use this wallet. All our products are integrated with the wallet. People come and participate. They buy the product, they pay in. Because if they don't pay in, how are we going to receive as founders? So they pay in. So there must be a process of cash in and cash out, and all this process must be tested, as Bra Oliver said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, for asking your question. Very, very good questions. Now we move on to Kila Virobo. Hi, Kila Virobo. You can unmute yourself. Just click the button to unmute. There we go.
Hi, Lynn.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loudly and clearly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's my first time to speak in the webinar. Thank you, everyone, and our friends from the Global on Perseverance. Thank you, our OTech team as well. I just have a question. Are we still migrating from the AWS, or are we still in the process? Thank you.
Who wants to take that? Oliver, Collins, or Vincent?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
It said,
she asked, okay, go ahead.
Are we still migrating? Okay, let me just take, and then I think Oliver and Bob will chip in. So we remember our CEO said we are migrating when we have the downtime, that there will be movement of data. We have that downtime where we couldn't log in. So it was part of the migration. And I'm 100% confident that we are now in our own data center, because our data center went live, as CEO told us. And then the next bit was the migration, when we had that shutdown cloud to the multi-region data center. And then from there now we'll move in. So I believe now we are already in our own data center, because it was down for about 2 or 3 hours, and then it came back up, and still since then we are not. So what will happen now is the multi-region, they'll be building on the multi-region. And if we all understand, multi-region is about when one particular, so you can connect to the region that is close to you. So if one multi-region shut down, you will get connectivity, so the whole system will not be down. So you easily have access. So for instance, if I'm in UK, I'll connect to UK. And if the shut down, then maybe I'll connect to the nearest one, one around my area. And that's why they make it regional. So we have multiple of that. But again, we are still in cloud, as Brother Vincent said. If anything happens, so our data something happens, we can still have the backup from our cloud system. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, true. I think we are now in the data center. We'll start to, add the products in our data center.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheila, for asking your question. Do you have any more questions?
Thank you.
You're good? All right. Thank you
I think
so
that's
much.
it. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. We are happy. We have Kyrie here. She's our IT professional, and I'm sure she has something great to share with us. Hi, Kyrie.
Hello. I would like to piggyback on what the OTech pros were talking about. And I hope my question, my statement goes to Miss Emily. On passive ecosystem is tested data migration on 3 key principles, which is called confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And that is known as a guidance to policies for information security within the organization. So let me just explain a little bit. Confidentiality is a set of rules that limits access to information. Integrity is the assurance that the information is trustworthy and accurate. And that is key, especially because we have a wallet. And availability. We want the availability to be up 24/7. Availability is a guarantee of reliable access to the information by authorized people. And for integrity, for Miss Emily, integrity involves maintaining consistency, accuracy, and trustworthiness of data over the entire life cycle. Data must not be changed in transit. Okay, and transit is going from one end to the next, going to your old wallet to your bank account. Okay, you don't want that to be changed at all. And the steps must be taken and tested to ensure data cannot be altered by any unauthorized, which is a nefarious person, which can breach the confidentiality. So, confidentiality, I'm just going to be real quick, measures the design to prevent sensitive information from unauthorized access attempts. It is common for data to be categorized according to the amount of type of damage that could be done if it fell in the wrong hands. And availability means information should be consistent and ready and accessible to authorized parties. So that is what I wanted to let you all know. On passive ecosystem, each and every entity, it will be tested against confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I hope that answers someone's question. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyrie. Appreciate it. Good to know about integrity, availability, and confidentiality. Thank you very much. Next, we go on. What we're doing is, remember, folks, just a reminder to our international community that we're looking at addressing the comments and questions of our PNG people first and foremost, because this is a PNG webinar. We want to meet their needs, okay? So don't feel offended, but we're going to prioritize and focus on our PNG people first. So now we have Nathan Homui, who would like to say a few words. Go ahead and speak.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Nathan.
Yes, hello. I have a
Hello,
question.
hello. Please ask it.
Hello. Yes, I have
Yes,
a question.
Yes, please feel free
my
to ask your question. Go ahead.
My question is about the wallet. I have a wallet with PSP. Will be easy for me to use the same phone number to register with wallet again? That's my question.
Right, did you folks get that? Collins, Oliver, and Vincent, was that clear to you?
I didn't really get the question, but it looks like he asked if he has a wallet already, and can that wallet be used? Can he use that wallet with unpassive wallet? The answer is no. We have our own wallet. We have our own wallet that is a product that we will sell, and each domain or each account is going to have their own wallet.
Nathan,
so you cannot use your wallet from another vendor or another company to unpassive wallet. No.
Nathan, did we answer your question?
Yes, but the thing is, I use the same phone number to register with unpassive.
Yeah. Also remember that I got your question. Also remember that yes, you have your phone number that you use, but your wallet is going to come from unpassive wallet. Unpassive, we have our own wallet. Like I said, repeat myself, because your email address is being identified as a unique account with unpassive with a domain, and that your phone number is your phone number that you use is the same number that you have also with unpassive. So there will be no problem.
I don't think your phone number is related to your wallet.
No.
It's not related. There's no relation.
No.
To that. So your phone number is your phone number, but what we talk about wallet is where whatever you own a business, right? Just think about your business. Think about your business. Say you have a shop, you're selling a lot. You have a place where your money comes in. When the customer comes, they buy, and then you take the money, you give them their balance, and you put it in that little box you have in your shop. It's the same. That's a wallet. So it has nothing to do with your phone number. Your phone number is about calling. Maybe they can call you and say, "Oh, Mr. Nathan, oh, you have this and that. You have this product. Can you come over and take it?" Just look at it in that direction. Wallet is where your money is stored, and you can take it anytime you want. Has nothing to do with your telephone number. So unpassive wallet.
Oh, sorry. Nathan, is that clear to you? Feel free to keep asking questions till you understand. Don't be ashamed. Go ahead and ask more questions until you get it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. But I use this number to register with PSP SMS banking. So I'm confused about this. That's why I'm asking.
All right, let me explain it again to you, Mr. Nathan. Let me explain it again. You know, I know all of us understand this, that when you come to internet banking, they'll ask you certain questions, like your telephone. In UK, they ask your telephone number, your email address, so they can send you or they can call you. So unpassive is different. It's a business, right? Your wallet is tied to the product and everything. So whatever is coming in, forget about your registration. Yes, you register in unpassive, you have your email, you have your telephone number, that one is your contact. They can contact you when, in case of anything. They can contact you via email. Maybe we don't know if one person will want to contact us via our telephone number, or maybe they'll tell you, as Mr. Ashfari said, maybe you provide an emergency contact. So if money is in your wallet and you don't collect it, they can find out. If they try to get to you, they cannot get to you. They can get to the emergency contact. That is something that Mr. Ashfari is thinking to do. But what is your wallet? Your wallet will be tied to your bank account. So when you have your wallet, right, everything is coming there. You can see it from your back office. How do you catch it out? Now you have to provide a bank account. So that bank account now will be integrated, will be tied to your wallet. So every time you push a button, the money will leave your wallet to your bank. You know, the money will leave your wallet to your bank account. Money from your wallet to your bank. Every time there is a sales, it moves from your wallet to your bank account, because you have put, they will actually provide an account so your money can go in there. So it has nothing to do with your bank, with your, don't confuse between your bank, the bank in Papua New Guinea, where you provide all those information where they can contact you. No, it has nothing to do with that. So your wallet will tie into your bank, and then now from your bank, you can collect the money, you can withdraw the money out. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes.
Are you still confused?
You really answer my question. No,
Yeah.
I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with your answer.
All right. Okay.
I really said, very proud of you. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you're confused, please just ask. We are here to explain more and more.
You're okay now, Nathan?
Yes, Lynn, I'm very proud. I'm okay. I'm the proud founder, so I'm very
You're going in and out right
happy
now,
with
but
Network problem.
yeah, but we heard that you said you're a proud founder, and so are we. And we are so happy that you're here with us and willing to ask good questions to help yourself understand on passive. So that's really good. I give you credit for that. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome. Next, we have Arnold Lakamanga. Hi, Arnold.
Hi, Lynn and everyone. Actually, Nathan's question prompted me to come on and explain a bit more on what wallet is. Maybe I'll speak in Pidgin, so there's no confusion on what a wallet is. I'm pretty sure that Nathan has not really understood the concept of what a wallet is. It is a typical question that a lot of us here who have not actually done online business and have an experience having a wallet online to transact between our wallet, our virtual wallet, and our bank accounts. And I have personally come across similar questions. So maybe I'll speak in Pidgin and explain to our community what our wallet.
That would be helpful. Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
Arnold. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Bami talk Pidgin long, talk sabi lo Nathan na all not platu, Tista Harem. This la something all call him O wallet. O wallet em also house from the city money long em. But when we work in online business, and usually this all wallet is a link called a Visa card long bank long. Wallet I mean was mobile banking. Was plenty of card mobile banking and plenty was and wallet no card. Very different. Inside long all founders back office by only putting wallet on site. And a virtual wallet I mean a physical wallet by you holding not touching, but I must pause for you. Pause for you by only opening and by some back office for you long all founders. Time money blow you long on passive it come up. All by pretty consultants la pause for you or wallet basta inside long back office for you. Now we have them this last or wallet all in put in the back office, but time and very long. Money come inside all by putting this la or wallet the plug on side long back office stuff. Emerson pause by money come now by stuff inside. But from this la wallet by transfer you go long bank account plumipla. And most of the time, it's a bank account by a Visa card. So this Visa card number and by you use him by transferring money go long house long back office lo wallet na by salib go long BSP or Kina Bank or Westpac account lo bank. So this line also call him wallet. Know something where now people no got wallet. PSP no got wallet, Kina Bank no got wallet. And just like phone banking wallet different. But one kind concept for some phone banking. Sometimes you go pay money long sali go per month through the bank. You since the money you put it on sell a wallet. Not then by using mobile banking. From this wallet by sell a mobile phone you by you sell it go long not per month by using them. And concept on one kind of thing. So wallet don't go one time. But you don't need him long this online business, you don't need him phone number, no God. You need him internet. Once you got internet now, you can go and sell a back office to you and you can sell a post to you now. You lost money the post to you long for wallet, you sell you go long bank account to the BSP bank. I hope I'll put some light on what the wallet is. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you ask if that is sufficient? See if that's.
Oh, Nathan, you clearly look one kind talk.
Yeah. Me clear straight. Big plan understand.
Now. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's good with that, Arnold?
Yes.
He's good with it. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Chime in anytime now, Arnold. If you feel like there's a language barrier or cultural barrier, please just raise your hand and speak Pidgin. Thank you very much. All right. I just saw Nathan Cup with his hands up. What happened to you, Nathan? Did you get booted? Let's see if he's still in here. Nathan, go ahead and speak. Nathan Cup. Are you available?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear. Hi, Nathan. Good to see you.
Hi. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, hear you all right. Keep talking. I'll make sure we can hear you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, TechPro team, for the very good presentation. Things keep coming clear as we are getting closer to the occasion. I think I'll probably turn it a little bit in Pidgin for our Pidgin audience here.
Please do.
Just to get us to the same page as to why we insert the emails and the phone number. I think there's a bit of a confusion. So I'll just hear that out. Thank you.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Afternoon, you know that me Nathaniel. I'm a proud founder. Me become a founder of 2021 or June 26. I think close to time by birthday, Blomi on 20 come up or Islam. This legally asking law, latent law, phone number law, verification law, wallet or law. System to right like it's wallet. Law bank, law PSP or Kina Bank or one in Narabla Bank, you make that law PNG and all different entities. So one all different company, different all entities also requiring verification. So something you got what then PSP, one can or same law on passive, no God. Blow on passive and blow on passive here. It's the same phone number for you. Now email for you and road for you look survey or same company by look survey or same you found out on passive. Now and road for you communicate with them company on passive. Okay, when it's the same number, the same email, suppose you use him PSP, and blow you to talk na communicate with them PSP. Whether you like accessing all products, whether you like accessing transfer, blow money, blow you, blow bank, account you call an bank, or whether you like making one of them activity namelo you want them DSP na when the bank you want them on our line, and you use him this phone number and email, but come back to company loan passive. And this email to you, na phone number to you, and this to something, and me wrote to you long excessive wallet to you or products to you, excessive wrote to you communicate on them on our founders or the management law on passive and wrote to you. So you look at something where I'm by come up breaching or roadblock or problem, no and really understanding you need to clear on this area. I think I'll leave it at that for our pigeon audience. The BSP scenario is completely a different entity. You use your email there, your phone numbers that you use between your account and the company, it remains there. It doesn't come into on passive. On passive, the numbers you used, whether it's the same number or a different number, it's that what you use to engage yourself with the company on passive. So I'm basically explaining this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the interpretation. I'm sure that helped. Nathan, I hope that also helped you to understand more. Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions from our PNG people? I feel like we were able to address all the questions from our PNG folks, so that's really a good thing. We're approaching the 2-hour mark now, so we're going to be winding down. I wanted to give Nathan, let's hear from Nathan. Go ahead, Nathan. Hombi, Hobui, go ahead.
I've got no question. I've got no question, but I have a request. My request is about when the company loans, I like to be there to witness the.
You would like to be there when the big launch happens, you mean?
To witness the launching. I'm asking. Thank you. That's my request. Not a question, but only the request.
I think all of us would want to be present, right? In the group here today on our gallery, who would want to be there when that big event happens? Raise your hands or wave, whatever. See, Nathan, our hearts and our minds want to be there, of course. So we hope that will happen for all of us. Nathan, thank you for expressing yourself, Nathan. Awesome. Anything else, Nathan? You good?
No, nothing. I'm feel proud of that. I was raised with the on passive.
You're going in and out now. But we know that you said you are a proud founder.
I'm 27 years old and I'm raised up. Yes.
Very good, Nathan.
Thank you for me.
Thank you for sharing with us. We appreciate you so much. Awesome. All right, anybody else from PNG want to express themselves? Any final words from our co-hosts? We've got Tony Monk here who might want to say a few words, as well as the tech team as we wrap it up. Tony?
Oh, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Wow, what a webinar! My God, there's been a lot of things that have been discussed tonight. That's for sure. Yeah, no, hey, brothers, technical brothers here, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much again for coming out and making things simple for us to understand the what goes behind the products. It's very important to understand this stuff. It's technical stuff, I understand, and for simple people like myself, it's hard to really understand the meaning behind all this technical stuff, but we don't need to understand it all that much, because it is a plug and play system. for all the PNG people out there. You know, it may seem complicated. It's good for me because I love the education and I love learning new things. And these guys are inspiring. They really are, and they make it as simple as possible for us to understand. But we need to know. What we need to know is the value behind what we have. These guys are coming out and they're explaining the value of our company. Okay, the value of our company is obviously the products. Now, you know, the marketing has already been started in Dubai, in the Burj Khalifa. We're going to be, it's a ripple effect. It's going to happen all over the world. People are going to recognize us and they're going to know us. And like I said before to Papua New Guineans last week, and I'll say it again this week, the products that are being discussed by our technical pros is for educational purposes only. Okay, so we don't need to understand all the technical background of the products. All we need to know is that it's an automated system. Everything is going to be done for us. Okay, so when that day comes that we need to connect our wallets and so on, we're going to have all the help in the world from the greatest leaders that are going to help us step by step to put everything together. Okay, like the KYC. I believe that David Bakau has a place there in Papua New Guinea that he's trying to get everyone involved with the KYC. So don't worry about anything. Everything is being done behind the scenes. We're almost there. We're very, very close. It's everything is just around this launch. The launch to the world is just around the corner. We are very, very, very close. And again, thank you so much for having me here, Lynn. It was great to co-host this with you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Collins, Oliver, Vincent. You guys are fantastic. And thank you, Papua New Guinea, for having me on your webinar tonight. I appreciate it. And great to see everybody here. Bye-bye for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Tony has offered to co-host, and we really appreciate that offer. Appreciate you so much, Tony. Also, Marty wasn't feeling so great tonight. I noticed he hasn't been feeling chipper the last several weeks, so let's keep him in prayer. Marty DeGarmo, you know, he works very hard, and by this time, evening, it's hard. I think his body's tired and not feeling quite, you know, healthy yet. So let's pray for him. Also, I want to give our tech guys the final words. We've got Collins, Vincent, and Oliver. Vincent, do you have a few words to say before we end tonight or today, whatever your
thank you, Angelina, and thank you all the participants for coming to this great webinar. We thanks also PNG guys that thanks for this webinar as well. So don't worry too much about the technologies involved. Anything you don't understand, we are here to break it down again. So like Tony said, it's for educational purposes. So we're not here. You shouldn't worry too much about on passive, because in passive, everything is done for you. The game is done. But we try when we have a roundtable, we try to explain the technology involved. When we talk about data center, we need people to understand what is a data center, testing, my data migration. So we are here so that you not be confused of any technologies you hear from webinars or maybe hear from corporate webinar. So that's why we're doing that. So don't worry too much. And also, if anything you don't understand, we are here to break it down for you to get and then to understand what you mean in terms of on passive. So thank you all. And then we hope to see you again next week for another great webinar.
Thank you, Vincent. Next, we have Oliver. Oliver, want to say a few words?
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here, Papua New Guinea, brothers and sisters there, and want to say hi. And we are there, and like Tony, Vincent, they just talk. It's just for you to understand what goes on, you know, in your company, in your business. You know, just for you to know, it's not anything different or whatever. You know, everything in the system is automated, but it's good to understand that this is an IT technology company, you know, And when you look into all the IT technology company out there with the kind of products that they do, that they have, we are starting from the top, you know, and the amount of money that's going to come in, we are going to be the biggest company on this planet Earth. Based on the products that we have, we are going to be the biggest. In the next 2 years, we are going to be the biggest IT technology company. There's nothing that can stand us or can block us now. We have domains. We have our data center. We have our products with AI from scratch, automated integration, name it. So we are the top. I just want to say, thank you being here today. I will see you also next week. Bye.
Thank you. Next, we have Collins Mana.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. Thank you, brother Tony and Otech guys. I just want to appreciate our sister here, Kerry Young. I hope I pronounce your name right. Yeah, you are really excellent and really wonderful. No, normally listening to you, it's like you really know your stuff, and we really appreciate you. So yeah, as Tony and Oliver, everyone have just said, honestly, to me, you don't really need to know all of this. We're just here just to make things simple, not to you go into technicality of how things are developed. And don't be scared, you know, though we are saying this, it's a plug and play system. You don't really need to know all of these things. We're just like, okay, as Oliver said, know your business, know what is coming, you know. So if someone asks you, what are you really selling? You can mention them without even knowing the details. It's like you're driving a car. You get your driving license, you drive a car, but you don't need to know how the engine works. You don't need to know. There is nothing. You don't need to know how the fridge works, but the only thing you want to know is my fridge can cool and can preserve my food. You know, and if it doesn't work, you throw it and you buy another one. That's how it is. So on passive, it's just the same. They've done it all for us. You don't need to know the mechanism or whatever. But when we are here, we just want to give you a little bit of that patience and said, okay, because that question why is it taking too long? That's the question we want to wipe out. He said, no, it's because of the process, things that are happening that we don't see, things that we can't really understand. That's what is happening. Sometimes Mr. Ash will not come out and come, you know, all the fans, where is Mr. Ash? Why are we not seeing him? If Mr. Ash is coming out every day, the work will not be done. So that when we don't see him, it's a good thing because he is there busy putting things together on our behalf. So we just want to appreciate everyone. Let's be patient. We're already there, and he said it's over. So thank you very much. Thank you, Lynn, and see you next Saturday.
Thank you, Collins. Appreciate you as well. Thank you all for being here. We had some helpers in the chat to help the chat go smoothly. Thank you to all of you for having a heart to help us with that chat. We expect you to come back next week. Remember, this is a weekly webinar at the same time, Sunday, 12 a.m. Eastern time. We'll have different topics, but the OTech pros are going to be a steady contributors. They'll be steady contributors. They'll be here every week. Thank you so much. You know, their time difference is difficult. It's especially for UK, it's 5 a.m. when we start for them, 5 a.m. UK time. So I give them a lot of credit for being here. And for Oliver, it's midnight, you know, so it's late also. Tony, I see you've got your hand raised.
Lynn, I just wanted to say to the panel, let's give Lynn Nakamoto a hand because she hosted this whole thing today or tonight. She's amazing. She does incredible work around the clock, and we really do appreciate you, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I like being here. I look forward to it. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I haven't missed one for a long time. I don't remember the last one I missed because it's food for my soul, people. It's the beauty of the people of PNG that warms my heart. And, you know, just to share with you a little bit about me very shortly is that, you know, I'm born and raised in Hawaii. You know, I came from very humble beginnings. I lived in the country, in the boondocks, as you say. You know, we spent our time fishing, camping. We shared food, neighbors shared food with one another. It was a very simple and humble life, an island life with a lot of love in our community, lots of aloha, which is love, you know? And so when I come to PNG, I can relate so much to you because I feel that aloha spirit inside and out within the PNG community. You guys are special. You're a wonderful bunch. And I'm so glad that Marty shared on Passive with David Bakau. He was the very first person to bring in someone into Unpassive. And now look at what has happened. Look at what has transpired since then. Thousands and thousands of you now are part of Unpassive. You're going to have financial freedom as well as time freedom. Lives are going to be changed. Your communities will be changed for the better. So I am just so pleased and blessed to be part of this process and of what's happening. And I think all of us here in this international community feel the same. And if you do feel the same, wave your hand, people, the people from the international community. You see all your supporters. These are people that you see week in, week out, coming back to PNG webinars. Why? Because they care about your community. They love your heart, they love your spirit, and we all can relate to the way you think, the love in your heart. So we appreciate you so much, and we do hope to see you back here week to week. We will continue to provide information that we hope will benefit all of you, not only our PNG people, but our international community as well. Thank you to Marty, because Marty opens up this webinar, and it is because of him, and of course Ash Mafara, because we are using the corporate Zoom account to live stream to 20 channels. So, this particular webinar gets a lot of exposures, lots of views, thousands of views. And think about the future. Over the future, how many views will we have? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and maybe even millions. So, you are a part of history. Just the fact that you guys are here in this webinar, you are part of history in the making. So we appreciate you so much, and we look forward to seeing you again. What I'm going to do right now is unmute everybody. You can say bye-bye to one another. Go ahead and say bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care. Thank you, callers. Thank you, OTAC.
Happy
Have a wonderful night. Good evening.
Thank you, Tony.
Alice, Tony.
Bye, Kitty.
Bye.
Nathan.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Luna.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good
Thanks,
night.
Papa, again, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you
Good
for the
night.
great webinar, Lynn.
Good night. Remain blessed.
Good night.
Bye, Mary.
Much love to
Bye,
you
bye,
all.
Nathan.
Bye. Much
Bye,
love.
Bye, Bruce.
Vincent.
Night, Alex.
Good night to all.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Night,
Collins.
Robert.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, Runa.
Everyone.
Bye, Tina.
Night, Tony.
Bye, Liz.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Vero.
Bye. Love you, Lynn.
Bye, Adeline.
You notice I make the bye very, very long. I do that on purpose. It's not a mistake. You can keep saying bye-bye. Go for it.
We
Bye.
love you.
Later.
Bye, Lynn.
Get ready for the
greatest shape of your life.
Bye, Lynn.
Good night, John boy.
Farewell.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Are you gonna say
Everyone.
go for
See
it?
you later, John.
Bye, Veronica.
I'm waiting.
Bye, Nathan.
Hello. Bye.
Akram. Good job,
Bye,
Akram.
Joa.
Good night.
Oh, my
Good
first.
night.
Good
Farewell to
Bye.
you. We're all going away.
Bye, John.
Bye. Goodbye.
What are you trying to say, John? We love you all. We love you.
We love you, Tony. Bye, Tony. Sleep well,
Tina,
Lynn.
thank you.
Rest well,
Thank
rest
you,
well, Lynn.
Collins, Vincent,
It's
Oliver. We
Sunday.
love you
Oh, no,
guys.
it's Saturday today.
Okay,
Have a
so
great
you.
weekend, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
going up with PNG. Definitely, my top.
T-shirt, Tina, you do T-shirt, nice. Loving our global friends.
Come on over to Singapore.
We love you, Papua New Guinea. We love you. Thank you.
Yes, I love you, my
Tina,
Papua
you
New
see
Guinea.
us there.
I love the learning from the tech pros. Love you all.